Good evening, everyone, once again. You are all welcome to another edition on public service knowledge of year 2026 motion exercise lecture series. I'm your regular host, Jamiu Onosanya, the convener of public service knowledge of. As you all know, today's topic, tonight's session is very, very key, important. So please get your biro and book beside you. Ask question. It's going to be interactive session. Tonight you are going to know what you know, but you might need clarification on. Like I said, we have some agency that they have changed their name. We have many things that is trending, but due to our schedule in office, busy in office, we couldn't pay attention to it. At times, we might hear it, but our mind don't concentrate on it. But due to the promotion exercise, the examiner don't want to know whether you know it or you don't know it. They believe as a public or civil servant, you must know everything or you must know beyond your schedule. You must be conversant with what is trending. We all know what the message Trump sent to Nigeria. We all know what the president have been doing, the transformation that is going on in the private and public sector, and Nigeria as a whole. So you can't tell the examiner, especially during the CBT, and say, I don't know this, because there won't be any room for you to call anyone behind you, because by then everybody will be busy racking their brain. Which choice am I going to choose, B or A? So that day, everybody will carry his or her own cross. As we promised, all our session, especially the one that has to do with promotion exercise, we will send the audio to our platform. I'm compiling them. Hopefully maybe on Monday, because honestly, I'm busy looking for who is going to put us through. Thank God, God be with us. So like we said, please don't let this knowledge sharing stop here. Public service knowledge of we run a back-to-back knowledge sharing due to the promotion exercise. But after the promotion exercise, we go back to our normal norms, which is every Sunday. Every Sunday, we bring in professional, not for outside, but within the service. Permanent secretary, directors, and what have you. Anybody that we know that it has everything upset that we need to tap in, we bring them to this call. And it's free. It's free. You don't collect any money from anybody. And at the same time, the only support we need from you is to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch, share, and like it so that we can meet up with YouTube community. So, ladies and gentlemen, at least we are 533 now on the call. We can now go straight to the business of the day. Before I go into the introduction, let's hear our special guest, our facilitator, Mr. Ajetumobi. Let's just hear his voice. Hello, sir.
Well, thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. It is indeed a pleasure and privilege for me to be on this program, Public Service Knowledge Hub, and I must express sincere appreciation to Mr. Jamiu Onosanya, who is bringing this up. These are the kind of things we look for in service, and they are things that will make us move forward. Welcome. I am happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think you know how we run it here. Let's see your emojis, at least for that short intro from Mr. Ajetumobi, so that he will be happy that we are happy to welcome him. All right, like I said, today, this evening classes are purely practical session, though I don't know, maybe our facilitator needs to share something with us, but when we get there, we'll cross. Before we start anything, thank you so much. Before we start anything, public service knowledge job is self-sponsor platform that we put in place, to impart knowledge into all civil servants. It's knowledge sharing mentorship program. But due to the promotion exercise, the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria Lagos State Chapter came into our aid and sponsored this program, because normal, our own capacity here on this call is just 300. But with the aid of the Association of Senior Civil Servants and with the mission and vision that all public servants must get to the next level. And the union said, no, they can't just fold their arms and see anybody stagnant in their level. I say, okay, no problem. What do you think we can do? I said, the only thing we can do is to expand the capacity. They say, okay, no problem. They volunteer to expand the capacity to 1,000. Before, if a regular participant on this call, you know that immediately you get to maximum 500, the call will start log you out. So before we start anything, I will call on the chairman of the union Mr. Olusegun Balogun to address us and give us uh, a talk. Mr. Balogun,
Yeah,
are you with us, sir?
yeah. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Let me also use this opportunity to thank and welcome our facilitator, Mr. Ajetumobi. I know he's an educator, and I know he's going to do justice to this program tonight. And I also want to also appreciate our coordinator, that's for also putting this together, and also to our participants. And I've been saying it. Um, we need to be calm and let's just have a focus that we're already getting to the next level. And this exercise is not to resort anybody. It is to improve our capacity as a public servant, and as also to also for a better service delivery to entire citizen of Lagos State and the residents. And that is the essence of what we're doing now. So don't look at it as if it's a promotion exercise. I mean, this is an examination exercise or whatever, or probably to, we shot anybody. It is for our own benefit and for a better service delivery to residents and citizens of Lagos State. So on this note, I want to appreciate everyone, and I want to wish you a successful examination come next week. And congratulations in advance. Thank you very much.
Let me see your emojis. Congratulations in advance. The word of courage. Thank you so much, our union leader, and thank you to all the ESCO. Once again, I'll greet every one of you. Thank you for your commitment. On behalf of the Public Service Knowledge Hub and in collaboration with the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria Lagos Chapter, I warmly welcome everyone to today's tutorial session under the 2026 promotion preparation series. Tonight's topic is an extremely important one: general knowledge and current affairs for public servants. As we all know, general knowledge forms a significant part of both CBT and the written assessment, even the oral for the Lagos State promotion exercise. It tests how much officers understand their environment, government policies, institutions, and global happenings. Mystery of this area gives you a strong competitive advantage during the examination. We are honored to have a highly experienced professional leading today's lecture, Mr. Taofeek Oladiran Ajetumobi, Director Public Affairs, retired Director Public Affairs, PSSDs, an accomplished communicator, public policy trainer, media strategist, and an authority in general knowledge for public servants. He has trained countless officers across MDs, and his sessions are always practical, engaging, and eye-opening. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with your emojis, please join me in welcoming our distinguished facilitator, Mr. Taofeek Ajetumobi. You have the floor, sir. We are close to 800 here, and I'm seeing only 3 people appreciating our facilitator. Why? Let's appreciate it in any kind of way.
Yeah.
Let's appreciate it. Thank you very much. Good evening, sir. Welcome again. Let me just tell you, everybody, that Mr. Ajetumobi honor us. In fact, I don't expect it because the notice is very, very short. And still said, okay, no problem, I'm going to take it. Thank you for honoring us, sir. Thank you so much. I I don't take it for granted, sir. You have the floor, sir.
Well, thank you very much. Good evening once again. I can still call you colleagues because once an officer of the public service, like they say in the military, always an officer. This evening's class is knowledge sharing. I have come here to facilitate and excite discussions. I have not actually come here to teach anybody anything. We all are going to work together and to get to some situations, some destinations. Unfortunately, I will not be sharing any slide, but as much as possible, I'd like you all to pay attention, take your notes. But I must say something before we start that it's impossible for us because the scheme of work for general knowledge is so wide. Even if we have a 5-hour session and we begin to turn and turn and turn and open all of these things, we may still continue to have discussions. But what we are going to do is that we are going to take it thematically. We will be focusing directly, first and foremost, about Lagos State. And the way it's going to happen is going to be in some historical perspectives, but within the concept of history, we will also be putting some points that could come in a general knowledge paper. We will be putting it across. And so if you are ready, I am ready, and we are going to start by looking at Lagos. Because of the way this session is, my style is always to ask people to respond to certain questions that I ask, but this call is 806 as I have it here, and by the time we throw anything open, it may take quite a long time for us to get to the end of that. But if I will need you to put anything on the chat, I'll also let you know. Now, it's important for us to begin to talk about Lagos. It's important for us to begin to look at it from the perspective of Nigeria. Nigeria, our country, became independent. I've forgotten all of the other part of it, the colonial and pre-colonial times. That one will take us too far deep into the past. But if we need anyone to ask questions on that, if it's within our call, we will respond to it. If there is anything we cannot respond to here and now, you can be sure that if we cannot provide answers, and if the class itself is unable to provide answers, then we will get back to you on all of that. Like I said earlier, the syllabus for general knowledge is general. It is so wide that we are going to narrow down. So Nigeria became independent on 1st October 1960. There is nobody here that shouldn't know that. At the time of independence, there were 3 regions: the northern region, the eastern region, and the western region. On 1st of October 1963, Nigeria became a republic. The meaning of republican status, I am sure everybody here knows, And it's basically that at independence, the Queen, as she was then, the Queen of England, was still the head of state of Nigeria. The Supreme Council, the Supreme Court of Nigeria at that time was the Privy Council in London. So we still like tied to the apron strings of the United Kingdom, or Great Britain, as they used to call themselves at that time. But on 1st October 1963, Nigeria broke all of the colonial ties with the United Kingdom by proclaiming itself the Federal Republic of Nigeria. At that time, Nigeria's first republic started. Although historically, when we speak about Nigeria's first republic, people tend to look at from 1960. But the real republic started in 1963 when the late Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe became the ceremonial president of Nigeria, and Alhaji Abubakar Tafawa Balewa became the prime minister. This system of two persons running government belongs to the British Westminster system, or what we refer to as the parliamentary system, wherein you have one, yes, although ceremonial, is the head of state, and then you have the head of government. Today, the Queen has passed and is now the King of England, who is the head of the United Kingdom, King Charles. And you have Mr. Keir Starmer as the Prime Minister, who runs the business of government every day. But that is not too important to us. What is important to us here is that at that time, the late Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was the president of our country, and Alhaji Abubakar Tafawa Balewa was the prime minister under the parliamentary system of government. Around 1963-64, a new region was added to the north, to the west, and to the east, and we had the Midwest region. We had the Midwest region. Politicians of the First Republic played their game. There were disagreements. There was the popular word here in Western region, and there was crisis that led to the incarceration of the late Obafemi Awolowo and his group. The political class of that time continued until January 15, 1966. 15th January 1966, when Nigeria's military, led at that time the coupists by Major Chukwuma Kaduna Nzeogwu, toppled the First Republic. January 15, 1966, Nigeria's first coup against the state took place. Of course, as students of history, we all know what happened thereafter. The premier of the northern region, powerful Sir Ahmadu Bello, was killed. in the Western region, the premier at that time, Samuel Ladoke Akintola, was killed. The Prime Minister, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, was killed. Those were the frontline figures that were killed. Many top military people, like Zak Maimalari, Ralph Shodainde, and so on and so forth, and a whole number of collateral damage, other ranks, were also killed. Unfortunately, whether by design or just an accident of history, none of the top people from the East was killed in that coup. The president, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, was out of the country at that time, and the premier of the Eastern region, Okpara, was also escaped somehow. Yes, we must also not forget to add that in the Midwest, Festus Okotiebo, flamboyant Minister of Finance at that time, was also killed. That the coup was foiled. And a new military head of state, Johnson Thomas Umunankwe Agui Ironsi, became Nigeria's head of state. Of course, the northern military establishment felt grossly cheated and unhappy because two of their frontline people in government, Ahmadu Bello and Tafawa Balewa, were killed, and there was a kind of feeling among them, rightly or wrongly, that they must plan their own coup. So on July 29, 1966, northern elements in the military staged a counter coup that led to the death of JTU Agui Ironsi, who was a guest to the governor of the West, the late Colonel Francis Adekunle Fajui. From that point onwards, Yakubu Gowon, the representative of the North, was shoved into the leadership of Nigeria at a very, very young age. And that perhaps was the beginning of so many things that were to happen. It was also within this time that our state, the state that we are proud to serve and the state we continue to serve, was created, when in the process of statesmanship, Yakubu Gowon decided to increase the number of states in the Nigerian Federation from 4 regions to 12 states. That was on May 27, 1967. Lagos was created as one of the 12 states. What concerns us here is the fact that Lagos was created at that time. Are we together? Just do a thumbs up or write in the chat that we are together. Are we together? Yes, Are we together? No. Who is with us? Are we together, ladies and gentlemen?
We are, sir. Let me
Okay.
open the chat box. I lock it before, sir.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
That's why they are using their emojis.
Yes, I have seen the emojis, so that means we are
Yes,
working
sir.
together. Somebody is
Yes, sir.
raising hand. Is that deliberate or is just a sign of that we are together? I
No
saw you
sign
raise
of
your
we are
hand.
together.
Okay, it's a
We
sign
can't
that
take any hand. We can't take any hand now. So we are together,
you
sir.
can't take. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so Lagos became created at that time, and that is the time that the history of the state that we work for and the one that our career has been made in was created. From this point onwards, ladies and gentlemen, we will be talking about Nigeria on the side, but we will be focusing more on Lagos State. Of course, for Lagos, young man Mobolaji Johnson was invited. Mobolaji Olufunsho Johnson was major. After, he was promoted to lieutenant colonel and he retired as a brigadier general. But it is on record that Mobolaji Johnson was the first military administrator of our state. Today, we have had, including Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, a total of 15 chief executives running this state. 9 of those people have been military men, and 6, including Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, are elected civilian governors. It is on record that Mobolaji Johnson started Lagos with a grant of £10,000, and that he started Lagos with those that we call today the Four Musketeers. The Four Musketeers, civil servants, distinguished civil servants of their time. The late Papa Housing Right, the late FCO Koka, the late Adeyemi Bero, and the late Alhaji Agoro were 4 gentlemen who initially started Lagos with the military administrator before he appointed commissioners. And then we had the life of the late Adeniro Ogunsoya, the late I.S. Adewale, the boy is good. We had the Reverend Akin Adeshola and a host of others who started the 7 ministries that Lagos State started with. Today, we have about 24 ministries in this state, and the cabinet of the state continues to grow larger and larger. Mobolaji Johnson was here from 1967 to 1975. Of course, we know what happened around June, July 1975. There was another coup which toppled Yakubu Gowon and brought in the late Murtala Ramat Mohammed as Nigeria's head of state. That administration appointed the late Commander Shamsuddin Adekunle Lawal as the replacement of Mobolaji Johnson as military administrator of Lagos State. I like people to pay attention to this gentleman's name because in my years of training and talking about general knowledge of Lagos, this is one name that quite a lot public servants will not recall as having served in Lagos State. He was the immediate person that served after Mobolaji Johnson left the saddle. He was here between 1975 and 1977. He was followed by Commodore Ndubuisi Kanu. He was followed by Commodore Ibitu Ukiwe. Ibitu Ukiwe was here from 1978 to 1979. Ladies and gentlemen, you know as well as I do that 1979 was a landmark in Nigeria. It was a landmark in Nigeria because we decided to change course. It was an important year, not just because we had elections. It was an important year, not just that it was the era of the Second Republic of Nigeria, but it became important because we moved away from the parliamentary system, we moved to the executive presidential system. That is why today we call the president of Nigeria president and commander-in-chief. The presidential system is an American system in which the head of state is also the head of government. If you recall, we stated that under the parliamentary system, the powers of state are shared between two persons, a ceremonial president and the prime minister. But by the time we were going for the Second Republic, of course, you know that there was a coup again, and February 1976, February 13, 1976, Murtala Muhammad was killed, and Olusegun Obasanjo became Nigeria's head of state. It was Olusegun Obasanjo that decided to take us to the United States of America after setting up his 49 wise men led by the late Frederick Rotimi Alade Williams, FRA Williams, who took us to the United States, and we adopted the presidential system of government for the Second Republic. That is why Alhaji Shehu Usman Shagari was the first executive president of Nigeria. When we step that down to our state, to Lagos, we talk about Alhaji Lateef Kayode Jakande of blessed memory. One man who put quite a lot of things in place, perhaps, that has made Lagos to continue to tick the way it is. This session is not a celebration of Alhaji Jakande. It is just a mention that he was one of those who had the privilege of running this state. Indeed, he was the first civilian. Ladies and gentlemen, we also recall that by December 31 of 1983, there was another coup. The shenanigans of the MPN at that time. And of course, we must also remember what were those political parties of that time. And that is part of the will that I spoke about, the syllabus of any general knowledge paper. We had the National Party of Nigeria, NPN. We had the Unity Party of Nigeria, UPN. We had the Nigeria People's Party, NPP. We had the People's Redemption Party, that's by PRP, that's by Aminu Kano. And then we had the GNPP, the Great Nigerian People's Party of Ibrahim Waziri. At a point in time, we had the Nigeria Advance Party, that Second Republic, by the late Dr. Tunji Braithwaite. And of course, you had my own party, which was not registered, Movement of the People, by the late Fela Anikulapo Kuti. My party was not registered at that time. But by the 31st of December of 1983, the military struck again. And that was what brought Buhari, the duo of Buhari and Ide Agbon, to the saddle. And for us in Lagos, the late Commodore Bola Mudashiru became the military administrator. Bola Mudashiru was 1984 to 1986 and was replaced by, as he was then, Navy Captain Ohai Mike Ahigbe, who retired later as a Rear Admiral and became second in command to the military structure government of Nigeria. Of course, after him, we had our very ebullient Raji Alagbe Rasaki. Okay, we had him as a military administrator. And of course, after Raji Alagbe Rasaki, within that time too, you must remember that very long stretch of transition that Babangida brought before he finally shot himself in the foot. The SDP and the NRC. It was under NRC that Sir Michael Agbolade Otedola became the governor of Lagos. We reckon with him as the second executive governor because he was elected, although his administration served under a military president of the evil genius himself, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. Of course, you also know what happened on June 12, 1993, that watershed election that we had, which was annulled by the military. Although the man at the head of the government then had said it was one Sani Abacha who had died, that cancelled the election and it was not him. That is not why we are here. They are just points of history. Of course, you remember also the interim national government, ING, of Chief Ernest Adegunle Shonekon, which was there for about three months and a half before being butchered out by the dark-goggled one, Sani Abacha. Of course, after Otedola, Colonel as he was at that time, Olagunsoye Oyelola became the military administrator of Lagos State. And of course, you know that Olagunsoye Oyelola retired now, retired as a brigadier general, and is now a chieftain of one of Nigeria's political parties, as it were. Of course, after Oyelola, we had Mohammed Buba Marwa. Mohammed Buba Marwa was here between 1996 and 1999, and he was the one that actually handed over to the Fourth Republic. Mohammed Buba Marwa, it may interest you to note, retired as a brigadier general and is currently serving Nigeria today as the chairman of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. It was Mohammed Buba Marwa that had the privilege of handing over to, as he was at that time, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as he was at that time, who became the governor of Lagos, elected governor of Lagos State in 1999, and from 1999 to 2007, he was here. And he laid quite some foundation It was his administration that brought about the Lagos Economic Advancement Program, which we call LEAP. The Lagos Economic Advancement Program was the program that was responsible for a very popular Eyigbeti Summit. Eyigbeti Summit, you must recall, biennial event, because it happens every 2 years, biennial event where the Lagos state government meets with its critical stakeholders to talk about development of the state. It was also Bola Ahmed Tinubu that gave us the 10-point agenda. Of course, there is none of us here that will not remember those years when the fear of the 10-point agenda was the beginning of wisdom for every civil servant who was going to write examinations at those times. He brought all of that. After him, in 2007, Babatunde Raji Fashola's SAN became the governor of Lagos, and he was there for 8 years, and he adopted Bola Tinubu's program, the 10-point agenda, but like I always say, he put his own spin on it. What is Babatunde Fashola's spin? His spin was that Lagos must be run like a conglomerate, must be run like a business entity. And so it was the government of Babatunde Fashola for the first time that provided Lagos with a vision, with a mission. And the vision of Lagos that still stands today, although attenuated in some form, is to make Lagos become Africa's model mega city, a global economic and financial hub that is safe, that is secure, that is functional and productive. Africa's model mega city, a global economic and financial hub that is safe, that is secure, functional, and productive. That was what he ran with. And it was the first time also that we had a mission. The mission for the state at the time created was to eradicate poverty and promote economic growth through infrastructural renewal and development. It is very instructive that this infrastructural renewal and development is what has since that time skewed the budget of Lagos State in favor of capital expenditure. If you cast your mind back, you will see that year after year, the budget of Lagos from this time was heavier on the side of capex than what we have in recurrent expenditure. In 2015, Akinwumi Dapo Ambode became the governor of our state. That's number 5 among the civilians. He became the governor. He adopted, yes, the 10-point agenda of the state government of the previous administration. Of course, before Babatunde Fashola left, he had given us what we describe as the Lagos State Development Plan. Lagos State Development Plan 2012 to 2025 was bequeathed by the Babatunde Fashola administration to the Lagos State government that was coming after him. It is instructive, and I must let you know that the present administration of Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu has even expanded the year of that development plan. And so we have today LSDP 2052. We had a 30-year plan that will take us to 2052. That was from 2022. Take us to 2052. And what that simply says to you is that there is what we describe in Lagos as policy continuity. Akinwumi Ambode adopted all of the programs of the previous administration. Indeed, in his very first statement, he spoke about that his administration has adopted the Lagos State Development Plan 2012 to 2025. But again, he put his own spin on it. He was unable to secure a second term, as I always like to say, not because he failed as a governor, but of course, we all know the history behind that. In 2019, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu became the governor of Lagos and is the one that is currently in the saddle up to 2027 by the grace of the Almighty. At his first coming, gave us what he called the themes agenda. The themes agenda. And in 2023, when he was re-elected, he gave us the themes plus agenda. I do not want to believe that there is anybody here who does not know what the themes agenda, that is the various legs, are about. But for some clarity, T is for traffic management and transportation. H is for health and environment. The first E is for education and technology. The M is for making Lagos a 21st century economy. The other E is entertainment and tourism. And the S is for security and governance. That is themes. The plus has brought about social inclusion, gender equality, and youth integration. Ladies and gentlemen, it will be in your personal interest, indeed enlightened self-interest, for you to find out at least one or two achievements of the Lagos State government in all of these areas. The achievements of government are very well documented on the state government's website and other various materials of public enlightenment and consumption that the Lagos State government brings out. On the website, through Alausa Alert, through Alausa Sabi, and a variety of other documents, including the Public Service Knowledge Hub that has put this together and put it forward for us. Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu continues to run the state. And of course, as we always like to say, ọbẹ̀ tó dùn, owó ló pa. Our budget situations have grown in all of this time. We have moved from 1 trillion to 2 trillion. We now have a 3.366 trillion naira budget for Lagos, with 61%, of that being for capital and 39% of that being for recurrent expenditure. These are critical things about the governance, that is talking about the governors of our state. I'd like to know if we are still together. You can speak to me using your emojis. Are we still together, ladies and gentlemen? Are we not together? Okay, thank you, Taiwo, Father Hero. Thank you, Babatola Yetunde. Those are the ones I am seeing now. Only two. There are quite a lot of people here. Okay, Ogunbore and Lillian. Thank you very much. I can see all of that. Thank you. Okay, Awoleye, thank you. Okay, Adeola Sanwo, thank you. I can see. Okay, now it's raining torrents here. Okay, thank you very much. I just like to know, that we are together. When you are telling stories, the possibility of people getting carried away by the stories is always there. Okay. Now, we talk about Lagos. We talk about structure now. And of course, we all know that Lagos, our Lagos, is a sub-national government in Nigeria. It's one of Nigeria's 36 states. It is, at least in terms of size, only 0.4% of Nigeria's 923,000 something square kilometers. Only 0.4%. That translates to, I think, 3,755 square kilometers. Lagos is the smallest state of Nigeria. Of course, on the other hand, people have spoken about Niger State being the largest state in Nigeria. But as public servants of Lagos, from the time we conducted the 2006 household enumeration survey, we say Lagos has the highest number of persons in Nigeria, is irrespective of what the then National Population Commission made Lagos as number 2 at that time. And why is Lagos saying that? Lagos challenged the figures in court. I'm sure everybody here will know that. Lagos challenged the figures in court, and the courts appear to agree with Lagos that it cannot be just 9.0 something million people. That it was more than that. Lagos canvassed an 18 million person figure, although the court did not agree with that. But the court never agreed that Lagos was a paltry 9 million. Particularly, even after 6 years after the United Nations had named Lagos as one of the mega cities in Africa. And at that time, there were only 2. I am not sure there has been anyone that has joined Cairo and Lagos as the mega cities in Africa. And I'm very sure we all know the meaning, what a mega city is about. That's a city that has persons, population 10 million and above. That is Lagos. Lagos has 5 divisions. 5 divisions which we call Ibile, arranged properly in the way they appear. Ikeja. After Ikeja, then there is Badagry. After Badagry, there is Ikorodu. After Ikorodu, there is Lagos, not Lagos Island. This also is one thing that we have found a couple of times when we ask people to talk about the divisions of Lagos. People tend to think that the Lagos that is there is for Lagos Island. It is not. Lagos division is made up of Lagos Island and Lagos mainland. And so it is Lagos division, not Lagos Island division. And then we have Epe, that is our Ibile. for you. Also, in terms of structure, Lagos State is divided as it is today, not into 57 local governments, but into 20 local governments and 37 local council development areas. Of course, you know the history behind our development areas. In the year 2003, the Lagos State government embarked on a referendum. A referendum is a political tool through which a government can ask citizens certain questions about the way they are, and then they decide to go ahead. So there was a referendum. Should Lagos create additional local governments? That's what it was at that time. Lagos agreed, negotiants agreed, and we had an additional 37 local government created. You all know the story behind it. The Obasanjo administration at the federal holding on to the revenue of Lagos State in the Consolidated Revenue Fund, claiming that there are only 20 local governments recognized by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for Lagos State. Because it was gratifying at that time that the late Yaradua came and restored all of that, that Lagos had to revise the 37 local governments additional to local council development areas. It was a test of Nigeria's constitution. It was a great challenge at that time. And of course, Lagos State has led a crusade for additional council development areas, which has been adopted now by many, many states within Nigeria. That's the local government. The local government in our state, as everywhere in Nigeria, is an elective local government. Elective local government, because people mount the soapbox and campaigned for elections, and those who won are sworn in as executive chairman of their local government. Executive chairman of their local government. And within the local government, we had a structure too. And that structure is one in which you have the councillors led by the leader. You have supervisory councillors who also serve as commissioners for the local government in the role that commissioners are for the state, is where the supervisory councillors in the local governments are. And of course, you do know that the one that is the chairman of chairmen, they have an association which we call Conference 57, as the Association of Local Government Chairmen in Nigeria. And today, the leader of that group is Abdullahi Shesolowa, the chairman of Ibejuleki local government. That is the local government. Of course, we must also not forget to talk about the legislature, which is a place where laws are made. The Lagos State Legislature is unicameral. Unicameral meaning that it has only one chamber, and that one chamber has 40 members who are elected, two from each of the 20 local governments recognized by the Nigerian Constitution. The current legislature in Lagos is the 10th legislature, and it is led today by Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa as the Speaker. You have Right Honorable Mojisola Lasbat Miranda as the Deputy Speaker. You have Honorable Nohim Babatunde Adams as the Majority Leader. You have Honorable Mojib Patai as the Chief Whip. You have Honorable Adedamola Richard Asumu as the Deputy Majority Leader. And of course, you have Honorable Engineer Setonji David as the Deputy Chief Whip. When we spoke about one chamber, that is what happens in all of the states. At the federal level, there are two chambers. There is the red chamber and there is the green chamber. The red chamber is the Senate and the green chamber is the House of Reps. I do not know and I have not seen in any record that says one is the upper house and the other is the lower house. What I know and what is in record is that there is the Senate and there is the House of Representatives. Yes, people may have the views that one is senior and the other is junior, because the president of the Senate is the chairman of the National Assembly, as it were. And of course, I don't think anyone will be on this call who does not know who the president of the Senate is, or who does not know who the Speaker of the House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is. That is the legislature. We now talk about the third arm of the administrative structure of Lagos, which is the judiciary. Judiciary interprets the law. The judiciary settles disputes. The judiciary also adjudicates in cases. All of these are elementary government topics, but that is the structure in Lagos. You have heading the Lagos State Judiciary, the Chief Judge. The Chief Judge is the 17th Chief Judge of Lagos, Justice Kazeem Olanrewaju Aluba. He is the leader of the judiciary in Lagos. He is the Chief Judge, not the Chief Justice. There is only one Chief Justice in Nigeria, and that is the CJN, Honorable Justice Kudirat Kekere. And so in Lagos, we have a Chief Judge, as we have in other states, but of course, he is addressed as Honorable Justice Kazeem Olanrewaju Aluba. In terms of the hierarchy of courts in Lagos, you have the customary, you have the magistrate, and you have the high courts. That is the peak of any court in any state of the Federation. By the time you move on to the appellate courts, that is the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court, you are in the jurisdiction of the federal government of Nigeria. We have taken the summary of the structure. A critical element of that structure also is the one that makes things happen where all of you belong. That is the public service. The public service is the administrative engine room of any government. The public service of Lagos, the most vibrant public service in Nigeria serves this purpose. We call the public service the purveyor of public policy, and we say that the public service combines a host of professional and sub-professional cadres, some called civil servants, some called generally public servants, people who are employed by the Civil Service Commission are the civil servants, people employed by parastatal organizations and so on are described as public servants. We also have within that a mix of political people, elected people, as well as appointed people. Of course, we have in Lagos a variety of commissions, all deriving their powers, as it were, although independent to some extent of the Civil Service Commission. We have the Civil Service Commission, we have the Local Government Service Commission, there is the Judicial Service Commission, there is the Health Service Commission, there is the Audit Service Commission, there is the Legislative Service Commission, there is the Teaching Service Commission, there are tertiary institutions, there are ministries, departments, and agencies, and of course, we have parastatal organizations, businesses of government, and technical departments of the state. All of them initiating actions, acting on directives, processing information, implementing activities of government, carrying out monitoring and evaluation, and of course, reporting. That is the structure of Lagos State. Are we still together, ladies and gentlemen? Let me see your emojis. Let me see your emojis. Thank you very much. Okay. Akinto 2. Okay, thank you. Okay, Shegun Balogun, that's the chairman, Senior Civil Servant Association of Nigeria. Thank you, my brother. Of course, Gumbore Lillian, Oyekomi Bameke, Awoleye Oluwatosin, you all are appreciated. Taiwo Fadairo, you all are appreciated. Of course, when we move out of Lagos, we have spoken about Nigeria also. I remember the convener speaking about Donald Trump and the country of particular concern that is hanging now on the neck of our country. Of course, you should be able to respond that if you have any question. Is Trump coming to overrun Nigeria? Trump is not coming to overrun Nigeria. Rather, Trump has given us a wake-up call, for government to rise up to the occasion and fight its war, as it were. Goes going on international politics and statesmanship and governance. You have the United Nations Secretary General as the #1 civil servant, if you like, of the world. That's his name, Antonio Guterres. Antonio Guterres is the Secretary General of the United Nations. Antonio is spelled Antonio. Guterres, Guterres. Because with that name, I think it's a French name, then you do not pronounce that S. It doesn't have a mark on top of it. Mr. Antonio Guterres is the Secretary General, Chief Administrator of the United Nations. Because within the United Nations is a body of 100, I think at the last count, 194 countries of the world, all of which have subscribed to so many articles of association of the United Nations, which itself was founded in 1945, at the end of the end of the Second World War. The end of the Second World War was founded as a body of all nations that subscribe to it, to its charter, as it is called. So, of countries that subscribe on that body, there is a 15-member Security Council. Interest here is that there are 5 so-called permanent members of the council. Security. I remember well, we have China, we have France, we have Russia, we have the United Kingdom, and we have the United States. These 5 are the permanent members of the United Nations Security. In Africa, we have the African Union, established as the Organization of African Unity, and right now it has African countries. There are some that withdrew from the African Union as it came to be called. Currently, you have as the chairman the President of Angola. President of Angola is the African Union chairman. His name is Joao Lourenço. J-O-A-O. That's for Joao. That's Portuguese heritage name. Lourenço, L-O-U-R-E-N-C-O. That's the chairman of the African Union Congress of heads of state. Okay, and all of these are things that I think we need to put behind at the forefront of our minds as we approach. The African Union is a 55-member country, and yes, it was created in 1963. I missed that of ECOWAS. ECOWAS was the one that was established in 1975. Okay, and we have a commission there. Commission is like the headquarters. Commission is the chairman of the African Union, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf. That's his name. Coming down to West Africa, we have the ECOWAS, the Community of West African States. ECOWAS, Community of West African States. Of course, until recently, our president President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was here, that he recently relinquished that position for Julius Maada Bio of Sierra Leone. Julius Maada Bio of Sierra Leone. Julius Maada Bio is the president of Sierra Leone. He is the current chairman of ECOWAS. Because we have also the ECOWAS Commission, the headquarters, Dr. Umar Ali Toure, that's from either Guinea or Senegal, is the chairman of the commission. It is also worthy of note, and you must not forget, that recently, in the year 2024, after the coups that took place in some of these, in 3 places, basically, that is Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, and the sanction, particularly the one on Niger, led the 3 of them to come together to say, we are not going with ECOWAS again, and we will rather pitch our tent with ourselves. The 3 of us we have our own economic community as it were. Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso moved out of ECOWAS. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, these are general things. Some of them, well, current affairs. You must put current affairs. You must remember that Nigeria yesterday defeated Gabon by 4 goals to 1. There are examiners who may be sports people who will ask that kind of question. And you must, like it or not, you must watch the match on Sunday between Nigeria and Congo. But if you watched the matches yesterday, you will also know that Congo defeated Cameroon by 1 goal. Okay? But Nigeria defeated the Panthers of Gabon. That's what I want to remember. The Panthers of Gabon by 4-0 to 1 after during extra time. Nigeria showed us. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it's quite difficult to uncover, as I always like to say, not to cover, to uncover the syllabus of general knowledge. We will talk about the ones that are clear. But of course, I know we still have time on this call. We can ask questions, and together we can begin to put answers to them. Whichever one we cannot, we will look for a way to do so. Don't let me forget, there is also this international concept that is described as COFOG. COFOG means classification of the functions of government. Now, COFOG is important, and it's still important today because it is one of the tools that are used in budgeting. There are 10 areas COFOG. The 10 apply to the federal government, but only 9 there apply to state governments. The first one says general public service, followed by defense. That is the only one that does not apply to any state. Then we have public order, safety. Then we have economic affairs. Then we have environmental protection. We have housing and community amenities. We have the health sector. We have recreation, culture, and religion. we have education, and we have social protection. These 10, 9 for the state are what we describe as COFOG. Not have anywhere that you have it and you cannot pick, just Google COFOG. Just to type it on your browser, just type COFOG, because you will get this 10. But remember, friends is not for any state, friends is central state, and it is for the federal government. Talking about defense here, of course, we do know Nigeria has new service chiefs, and of course, we have the former Chief of Army Staff, General Olufemi Oluyede, moved from Chief of Army Staff to become the Chief of Defense Staff. Major General Wahid Shaibu is the Chief of Army Staff. Air Vice Marshal S.K. Aneke, the Chief of the Air Staff, and of course, Rear Admiral I. Abbas is the Chief of Naval Staff. All of these are new people, apart from Oluyede, who was Chief of Army Staff, but Chief of Defense Staff is new. The only one that survived that shake-up that happened some days ago, okay, is Major General Udiyendeye, who is the Chief of Defense Intelligence. These are the new service chiefs of the Federal Republic of Nigeria across military commission. And of course, you know that the Inspector General of Police is also there in the Sabu, IG Kayode Egbetokun, is still the Inspector General of Police. Ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the things that I have put together that I will speak to, and which I have tried within this time to speak to. If we have questions, like I said, it's time to raise those questions, but I will yield this floor to the coordinator of this platform, Mr. Jamiu Onosanya, to help us to moderate the questions. It's time now for that. Thank you very much. God bless us all. One thing that I always like to run away from is people who do not put their names. When you attend this kind of program, please put your name. There is no person that bears HP except if that is your initials. So I will leave that one to the moderator. It is important that we do all of these things. It is netiquette, if you must say. It's netiquette. Netiquette means ethics of the net. Okay, Mr. Onosanya, are you there, or do I just go on?
Yeah, live and direct, sir. I'm with you, sir. Thank you so much for the practical session, sir. And of course, you are still going to go on, but let's hear from the participants if they have any one or two question to ask, so that we know where to face. All right, I will open the chat box now for you to type out your messages. At the same time, our norms here, we don't pick robots, we pick human. We have been saying these times with that number that you should please change, let's be conversant with that, change your gadget. before you join any virtual program. Because if you said this, because this is just free or tutorial, you won't know when you will take your attitude to the original, and it will affect you.
Correct. That's correct.
I've seen so many cases like that people will now call me, Mr. Jamiu, sir. I got a letter, I was failed. I say, why? Say, I need your input. How? Why? Can you tell me before we move ahead? He said, I don't know. So anytime we get to the commission, they discover that they don't even see such name at the back end. So they'll not be asking, are you techno? Are you HP? And I say, "Oh, I don't even know." So this attitude have caused many people damage. So Lukman Kotun, before I call Lukman Kotun, I want to say a very big thank you for that rich, insightful, and enlightening presentation. So ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I want you to let your emoji start coming before we start calling ourselves. So HP, I will not pick you until you change your name. Lukman Kotun, you have the floor. Your name, please, as we do it, your name, your ministry, your question straight away. No case, no story here. Thank you. So that you can accommodate
Thank you
everybody.
very much, Mr. Jami. Thank you
Good
very
evening,
much,
sir.
Mr. Jami. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
And thank you, our facilitator this evening. Well, I'm not surprised the kind of your deliverable. That has always been you. We are always very proud of you and we are always happy to have you around. Thank you very much, sir. My question is on COFOG.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Yes, my question is on COFOG. There are 10 classification of government function. So I was able to pick only 9. Yes, general public service, defense, public order.
Service, defense. That's right. Economic affairs.
Yeah, defense, economic affairs, environment, housing, and after housing, what is it, sir?
Housing and community amenities. Health.
Community.
Sir? Health.
Okay, let me
take the test. Let me just take the test. General public service. Defense, which we said is only for the federal government. Public order and safety. Economic affairs. Environmental protection. Housing and community amenities. Health. Recreation, culture, and religion.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir.
Then education and social protection.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kotun. Uluwalanke Omounmi, your name, your ministry. You have the floor. Unmute yourself.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Ajetumobi. Thank you, Jabo. My name is Oluwalanke Omounmi from Chief of Staff. Okay, Mr. Ajetumobi, please. This question came up this evening, I mean this afternoon, and we've not been able to find the answer. There are some countries had issues earlier this year, and then they specifically mentioned some in the Middle East. And sir,
had issues about what?
Economic issues.
Okay.
But we had searched and we did not find it. So as encyclopedia, sir, please help me, sir. Thank you.
Am I encyclopedia? I don't. Now, when you speak about some of these things, they are neither here nor there. In countries where you have crisis, there is a likelihood of economic challenges. Okay, much of the crisis that we have, much of the countries of the crisis that we have today are security challenges. When there are security challenges, there will always be the economic side of it. Of course, you cannot talk about a country, for example, like Afghanistan, not having an economic issue. You cannot talk about Syria, for example, not having some economic issues because there is crisis. Yes, Palestine is not yet a country that is recognized yet, but there are issues. When you look at Syria, when you look at Lebanon, all of those kind of places in the Middle East will have economic problem. Of course, you can talk about Yemen also. You can talk about Iran, mention Syria, yeah. You can talk about Egypt, that is looking around there. Yes, Egypt appears stable in front, but the truth is that, but the truth is that it is still in economic crisis. So when you look around, it's just like when places like Mexico had some challenges, it turned on into economic issues because all of these things work together and are interwoven. Well, I don't know if I answer your questions. But,
yes, thank you very much, sir. We're thinking Syria and Iran, but we were not substantive enough. But now it's clear. Thank you, sir.
Oh, okay, thank you. All right.
Okay. All right. Ajibola Bello, you have the floor, ma. Your name, your ministry.
Good evening, sir. My name is Bello Ajibola from the Ministry of Local Government, Mushin Local Government precisely. Thank you so much, sir, our moderator and our facilitator. Thank you and God bless you, sir. I want to ask this question. Sir, you mentioned the 4 musketeers, civil servants. You mentioned late MC Okoka, late Agoro, late Adeyemi Beru, and the last one, I couldn't get it, sir. That is all. Then also,
okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Take the other one. Take the other one.
And
Hello?
also, when you are talking about the Eyigbeti Summit, the biennial event, as a biennial event, can they shed more light on it, sir?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Quickly, the 4th person of the musketeers is Papa Housing Right. The spelling of the name.
Okay.
Housing Right.
S-O-N. Then W-R-I-G-H-T. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay, right. W-R-I-G-H-T.
W-R-I-G-H-T. Yes.
H-T. Okay.
Yes.
Housing Right.
Thank you, sir. That's the 4th person.
All right. Thank you, sir. Then on the Eyigbeti
now
biennial summit.
Yes, the Bola Ahmed Tinubu government, I said, came up with a program at that time called the Lagos Economic Advancement Program. The Lagos Economic Advancement Program, or what we call LEAP, is the one that gave birth to the 10-point agenda of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration in Lagos. It is also the LEAP that brought about the Eyigbeti Summit. The Engbeti summits, I said, were economic summits where government meets with other stakeholders of government. You know, government is a stakeholder of governance in Nigeria. And there are others too, private sector businesses, diplomatic community, and a host of other critical stakeholders. So the Lagos state government, every 2 years, from the year, I think, 2000, then we have 2002, we have 2004, we have 2006, and then during Fashola's time, well, I think we had about 3 around that. So every 2 years, government brings its report to say, this is what we achieved. This is what we agreed. Let us move ahead. We have been able to do this. We have been able to do that. This one we have not been able to do because of so problems. And then government moves up again. During the time of Akiambode, there was no Engbeti summit, as it were. But when Babajide Sanwo-Olu became governor, I think we have had 2 now during this administration. Well, quickly, somebody is asking whether Engbeti is still functioning. Olanrewaju Akanji Jelili, I will tell you it is still functioning because it is the one that has produced the development plan that we are using currently. LSDP 2052 is the one that has provided it. So we can argue or we can say for it now that it is still functioning. All right. We can quickly look at the what is it called now? The charts. We have spoken about.
Yes, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing now.
Okay.
I'm running through the chart.
Right.
Mr. Isiaka Otun said, "Good evening, sir. My name is Wale Otun, Deputy Director, Admin and HR, Ministry of Special Duty and Intergovernmental Relations." So my question, recently the service chiefs were changed, and probably the question had been set before now. So if question eventually come in that respect, I plead, will it be made a bonus, sir?
Well, that is a technical question, which I am very incompetent to answer, because I do not know what the question is about. But of course, what will happen in that regard if you have questions that have become irrelevant, as it were? Usual practice is that it is made a bonus. Usual practice is that it is made a bonus. But for people who have set the question, if they must be up and doing, the service chiefs were changed in October. They were changed in October, and whatever. By now, even if we had set anybody that set a question that has all of that, and I think what should be done is quickly to change whatever the options that you have in there. The standard practice globally is that when you have such questions that have become irrelevant, then it is bonus to the candidates. That's my take on that.
All right, sir. Thanks so much, sir, on that. Adeosun Monsurat Olanike, she said she's from Health Service Commission. She said, can you please go over the judiciary structure at the federal and state level again, sir? I mix out on that, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. I did say that in Lagos State, there are 3 levels of courts, or 3 types, if you like, of courts. There is the customary court, there is the Magistrates Court, and there is the High Court of Lagos, Lagos State, in various divisions, which is the highest court in the state of Lagos and in every other states of Nigeria. Now, when it comes to federal, you have High Court of Federal. You have what they call Federal High Courts. That is when you have cases in jurisdictions that are federal. Then it goes to the Federal High Court. The people in judiciary know how these are done. After the High Court, up there, you have the Court of Appeal. That is, you are moving now to appellate jurisdictions. The Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal is not in every state. The Court of Appeal is located in a place and it will serve a number of states. And then you have a Supreme Court, which is only one in Nigeria, and which is the apex court in Nigeria. That is the hierarchy. For the state, you have the customary, the magistrate, and the High Court. And at the federal level, you have the High Court, and then you have the Courts of Appeal, and then you have the Supreme Court. Okay?
Right.
That's done.
Thank you, sir, on that too. Yeah, thank you. I'm seeing another question here. It's like taking something. Subal. Okay, Subal said, thank you for the knowledge shared, sir. Please, can you please okay, the list of the governor of Lagos State since inception, sir. We want to recap on that.
Okay, so that's for us to run.
Are you with us, sir?
Yes, I am with you. I just
all right, sir.
Just trying to solve some domestic issues. Okay, so we begin with Mobolaji Johnson, who was the one that started the state. And then after him, I said we had Shamsuddin Adekunle Lawal, also military. After him, we said we had Commodore Ndubuisi Kanu. After him, we had Ebitu Ukiwe. After him, we have Alhaji Lateef Jakande. After him, we have Bolahan Mudashiru. He was group captain when he was here. We had Navy Captain Okaima Igbe, Navy Captain as he was when he was here. Then we had Brigadier Raji Alagbe Rasaki. After Raji Alagbe Rasaki, we had Michael. After Michael Agbolade Otedola, we had Colonel Lagbusoye Oilola. We also had Colonel as he was when he was here, Uba Marwa. After that, we had Senator as he was at that time, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have, after that, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, SA. Mr. Kiumi Dapo Ambode. And we have our number 15 man, Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. Those are the 15 men that are
all right, sir. Okay, 15 governors so far. Before I take hand raising, let me quickly check this question. Jimo Babatunde Dauda said, thank you, sir. Please, the home country of UNO Gensec.
Okay, well, like I said, his name sounds French to me. Well, I can I can
That can see,
quickly.
you can see
Yes,
Google that. You can see Google that one now.
yes, that's what I'm saying. You can just take your phone and then Google that. Top of my head, I don't know. I don't know where he's from. But like I
All
said,
right. So
his
let me
name
pick
looks like
on Mr. Jamiu Away. You have the floor. Your ministry, your name, your ministry.
Hello, good evening, sir. My name is Jamiu Abiodun.
Good
I
evening,
work
sir.
with the Minister of Energy and Mineral Resource. That's Ibile Oil and Gas Corporation. Um, Mr. Ajitumobi, sir, I want to
yes,
say
sir.
thank you. Good evening, sir. It's quite a while we see you.
Thank you
We
very
are
much.
tired but not tired. I have two issues. One is an observation, one is a question. And
Okay.
the first observation, sir, is some of us in service, we know
Hmm.
you and know you very, very well and too well. Before
Yes,
you
I know.
retire, even after retirement, and up till
Hmm.
now. But
Hmm.
some people, maybe by virtue of whatever circumstances, they might not have come across you anyhow. And
Okay.
even while after service, the nature of life may not allow them to also meet you. But
Yes,
now
sir.
we're meeting you tonight, and this you are doing. The first observation, and it will be questioned also, is that someone, a colleague and a friend of mine, a professional colleague, has spoken and called you. Kí ló ti pè lẹ́ẹ̀kan? She said you are encyclopedia.
Answer.
Well, okay, so I'm too sure she's not far from the truth. Why some will call you encyclopedia, some can even call you Kalamaso. But even at that, the question I want to ask is, all of this you are telling us, very robust, and there was no kind of presentation slide to it.
Yeah.
Did you at any time in the past or now have any of these things you have given us as a kind of documentation, either
Hmm.
in form of a paper presentation, a book, or something that we could always have in the last decades? Or some of
Hmm.
us had gone through our secondary school in the 80s and we read history and history and history.
That's
But
right.
because we can get some of those books, we can still go back to it.
Yeah.
All of this you are still saying, they are coming fresh and fresh while you are saying it. But I tell
Okay.
you, I have not seen one book. Maybe there can be two, three, or four that have all this documentation combined. But one
Hmm.
book just that can combine all of this you have given us. Please,
Okay.
I don't want to call it an assignment, sir. If it is not there, if you have not done it, I think
Hmm.
not only because of examination, let us
Yeah.
have it so that the generation after you and our own kids that are coming will be able to have all of this and be able
Hmm.
to speak to that. That's the
Hmm.
first one, sir. Now, the
Okay.
critical question I want to ask is a technical one, and I want you to, the best way you can do it, I'm sure you should be able to give us an answer. I have read once, and I've heard from one of your old colleagues like you also in one of the tutorials or facilitation I had. Much as you know all of those military administrators and governors, our leaders we have, whom the normal politicians, I know there was a particular time in public service, federal or state service, that we have like the way we have level 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There used to be a grade level 11 before it was scrapped, and now there's level 12. I do have that understanding. I don't know how many of my colleagues that also know this one or the reason. But I said there is level 8, I know, there is 10. There was 11 before 12. And because between the military and the civilian, the 11 was cancelled off outrightly up to today. What
That's
was the
this
reason
powder.
behind it?
Because
What
I'm
was the
at my
date?
powder, pa. About the vessel.
Hmm.
Not about the vessel.
Oh, okay.
Èmi kọ́ ló sọ
Well,
yẹn o, ta ló sọ tó ti fẹ́ sùn yìí? Jamiu ìjọba wa close ẹni tó ti fẹ́ sùn yẹn o. So the questions are is that what was the reason why the level 11 was scrapped off, the year or any reason behind it, so that it can be a lesson to us. Thank you. That's my question, sir.
all right. Thank you very much. Well, to respond to that first one, this is not the first time I have been challenged. I have quite a whole load of documents that have been very, very lazy to put together. That is the truth. Not because one wants to hoard information. I will be ready. I am always ready to give that one out. But now that another challenge has come, maybe it is time for me to try to see what I can do, put all of these things together, then we can send it out. Now, for salary grade level 11 that is abolished, what I read many years ago is that there is no law that says, no written thing that says level 11 is officially abolished. But it was kept in the structure, particularly when we move from the old structure of salary to the consolidated public service salary structure, COMPIS or COMPES or whatever they will call it then. That new one moved directly from level 10 to 12 so that some inconsistencies and salary overlaps will be removed. So salary structures will always get to a point where if care is not taken, you have people on like that DL11 will be earning higher salary than even those who are their seniors. So what was done was to limit it, to break it at grade level 10, and then say there is no level 10, move up to level 12, and you will always see that the difference in pay between level 10 and 12 is a bit on the high side. And so if you are on 10, for you to meet somebody who is on grade level 12 1, you would have been on level 10 9, 10 10, 10 12, or 10 13, as it were. So that is what I hear as what was responsible for it, is to create some equity so that we do not have inconsistencies and the salary overlaps that have been there. That's what I know about it.
Oh,
Thank
okay,
you, sir.
sir. But thank you, sir. Mr. Jamiu,
So
this
thank
Mr. Jamiu, let me say this one.
sir.
It is an assignment for us. I know there was a reason why it was abolished. I know it has to do with the military intervention when they came in, and the salary scale of military men to civilian politicians within that time, and that time and the year that it was abolished. So it's a kind of an assignment that I want us to be quite familiar with. I'm sure it's not a question they will bring to us anyway, because it will look so technical and controversial. And also, it's not something on the open. I run through a research around that work. I got the best I could get, but this is not the time for me to explain that at this forum now. But I'm too sure there's a reason, there's a year, and it has to do within the political interchange between the military and the civilian. And that was why level 11 was scrapped and the 12 continues. But we can also run around it to be sure of what it is. But I'm sure I have an intake knowledge around that particular issue. Thank you, Mr. Ajetumobi. Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ ká gbà yín dá lẹ́sà.
God bless you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Awe. I'm seeing 857000. I'm sorry, I will not pick. I can't pick that. Tunji Lambo, your name, your ministry. Tunji Lambo, unmute yourself.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to the facilitator. This indeed is a very, very interesting session. Very, very interesting. Outside the fact that it's useful for exams, common exams, it is something that is worthy to have knowledge of a lot of this information. Please, sir, my own is a clarification. You mentioned that Lagos State now, if I am correct, has is the most populous state in Nigeria with about 18 million people. Now, I want to clarify if we have surpassed, if the state has surpassed Kano State, because I know, um, I mean, a few years ago, there were questions around that, if we had surpassed Kano State or not. So that's what my question is, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Lambo. If you followed my reasoning, I based my argument not on the numbers that the National Population Commission in the year 2006 gave Lagos as its population. In the year 2006, Lagos was a little above 9 million, according to NPC, and Kano was about 10 million. But I did say at that time, the Lagos state government challenged the census figures in court. A reason of that challenge is that while the census was going on, the Lagos state government also carried out what we called household enumeration survey, because it is out of the powers of the any state government to run a census. So we called what we did in Lagos called it household enumeration survey. The household enumeration survey gave Lagos a figure around 18 million. And when the result of the census came out, the Lagos state government, with Professor Yemi Osinbajo at that time as the Attorney General, approached the courts and challenged the figures. I did say that at that time, the courts agreed that Lagos would not have been as low as 9 million. Although it also did not agree that Lagos was 18 million. But it ruled in favor of Lagos State. That was the time Lagos State adopted a figure of 16 million in 2006 after that census. So whether Lagos has surpassed Kano or not, that one will be left to the next census whenever we have the courage to do it, and whenever we are ready to do census like it should be done. But if we were about 16 million in 2006, and globally they say Lagos is growing at between 6 to 8% per annum, you can imagine where we are going to be now. Conservatively, globally, the figure of Lagos is put at 20-something million people in terms of population as at now. But we can only confirm that if and when we have another census and we can be true to ourselves, bring out all of the figures. That would be my response to that question.
All right. Thank you, sir, for that good response. Lukman Kotun, you have the floor once again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jamiu. My name is Lukman Kotun, Deputy Director, Ministry of Youth and Social Development. The facilitators, sir, you've taken us around the story of Lagos or the history of Lagos vis-a-vis the administration.
Yes, sir.
But I don't know if you can help us out in the area of head of service, as in the list of head of service that we have in Lagos from inception. Thank you, sir.
Oh, that's a long haul that we have. I hope that I'll be able to do all of that. But if we begin to count back, at least in recent times, we should be able to build something. The current head of service, I think, is number. I like to calculate well. Is number 23. See? That would be serious calculation. It's number 23. That's Mr. Bodeaburu. Immediate past, Akim Muriokuala. Immediate past, that's before him, Mrs. Folashade Jaji. Before that, I hope I have not missed out anybody. Mrs. Olabo Wale Ademola. I think after Mrs. Olabo Ademola, there is Mrs. His name is the name relating to this man. Why? Adesoye. Mrs. Folashade Adesoye. Then we had Mrs. Josephine Williams. Then we had Adeshegun Ogunlewe. We have Kinsanya Sonia Joseph. Mr. Kinsanya Sonia Joseph before Yakub Balogun. Then we have Yakub Balogun, yes. After that, we have B.T. Rotiwa. After that, we have Rafiu. We have Rafiu Tinubu. A host of others. I am not able to make a list of that. I am sorry, but those are the way that it is. Okay. Babatunde Tajudeen Rotiwa, Balogun Yakub Abiodun, Rafiu Babatunde Tinubu, Akinsanya Sonia Joseph, Adesegun Olusola Ogunlewe, Josephine Oluseyi Williams, Folashade Sherifat Jaji, Olabowale Ademola, Folashade Adesoye, Akeem Muriokunola, and now we have Mr. Bodeaburu. Before Mr. Babatunde Rotiwa, the two offices were combined under the military regime. And so we had them at that time as secretaries to the state government. Those were the times you had Mrs. Abasego. Those were the times you have Mrs. Abeke Taire. Those are the times you have people like Leo Babaride da Silva. Those ones were named as a secretary to the state government. And I think Mr. Rotiwa was one that started being just head of service as well. So I cannot put unfortunately, okay, but Bodeaburu is number 22. Thank you very much. So it's number 22, and then we can begin to just roll it back. That's the way I will answer that. Sorry about that. It's not
Right.
It's not perfect.
Thank you very much, sir.
Even if you ask ChatGPT, if he doesn't know, he say this one I don't know. Yes, now.
Okay, sir. Sir, we still need to help us compile something later. You can send it to me, then we send across. Maybe
Okay, I'll try to do that.
Time. Anything you can just lay your hand on, Let's get it.
I'll
So
try to.
let me call last not on the list. Olowoni Shaye Saheed. Your name, your ministry.
Good evening,
Thank you.
Sir. And even though I
Good
joined
evening.
late because of travel and I forgot entirely, but at least I have enjoyed the knowledge shared by Sir Yetumobi, the other 6 months. Time was not time. Initially, I wanted to say, ask for the slide, but I heard there's no slide. But more importantly, I want to say that the issue of Lagos, as you have mentioned, somebody we have said should put in a big book for, which I think will be better for generation coming behind. Not only
Can't
for,
hear you, Mr. Saheed.
you can't hear me. Can you hear me now?
Yes, you can
Your
move to
network.
somewhere else.
Yes. Yeah.
Where you are, there is a lot of
Okay.
echo, and it's
Okay.
taking away from the quality.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Okay, this is better.
Okay, fine.
Okay, yes, sir.
My observation is that even though I joined late because of mind that I forgot entirely, there was a very big bad traffic. So, but majorly, I wanted to say that if the issue of Lagos, as we have discussed with us tonight, and the general knowledge, generally, which I think will be beneficial to all of us,
Yeah.
I want to advise, probably to reiterate again, that documenting such thing like this will be better for generation come behind after us, even though in the public service or anywhere in the state. That is one. Two, I'm in Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, a deputy director of planning. And the issue of population of Lagos State, what we, as a ministry, as a state, what we always say about the population of Lagos is that the growth rate is 3%
Are you
from.
still with us, Mr. Saheed?
Huh?
Yeah, please go ahead. Okay.
Right.
So I said the growth rate of population that we use
Okay.
in Lagos is 3%.
It's
So
3%.
now we,
Okay.
as a state, we always say Lagos is not even 20 million. We are projecting that Lagos is 30 million or 25 million because
All
of
right.
influx of people coming to Lagos on a daily basis. And the mission has done a lot of survey with this regard. Because those people are coming to the state on a daily basis. So that is the issue of area of population. Now, on the issue of head of service, as you said earlier, if you recall, Mr. Yetumobi, there was a time that both SSG and head of service were matched together. So can we count that as a one of the numbers? Because I recall that maybe during the era of Leo da Silva, he was merging the two together, SSG and head of service.
And head of service, yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, I have mentioned that before Mr. Babatunde Rutinwa, those before him combined the two offices together. Okay, you know, I think during Mr. Rutinwa's time, I think it was that time that Mr. Babangida da Silva into government. People like Mrs. Abba Sego, people like Mrs. Agbeke Taire, Mrs. Taire, and I think a few others too. If we count the number, you will see that we started counting one from people like Mrs. Sego. And that's what it is. That is why Mr. Bodiago will be number 22. And that simply answers that. Maybe this is another challenge for me to go find all of those names and put them together. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much. Mrs. Jankalawi Afsat.
Good evening, sir.
Thanks.
Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening.
Yes, good evening.
Your name, your
We can hear
ministry.
you loud and clear.
Jankala we have sat. My parent ministry is Economics Planning and Budget. I'm presently at Auditor General for Local Government. Actually, the question I wanted to ask, we're arguing it this morning, sir. The record of service. But when we went on the top of the record of service, we saw something like LS. Estab was, I think we suspected it was Estab because it was abbreviated. Then we saw Form 1,
Mrs.
Form number
Jankala
1.
Wima. Hello, ma. Hello, ma.
Sir, sir,
Hello, ma. Ask
I'm
questions that
hearing you, sir.
relate to. Can you please ask questions that relate to this topic?
And that's what I'm asking.
Are you with me, ma?
I'm with you, sir.
Is that current affair? Is
I know
that
it's
current
public.
affair? You are
Sorry, sir.
asking of.
I know it's it's on public service.
Can we treat that tomorrow because of time?
Oh, okay, sir.
Let's
Then
treat
my
that tomorrow morning.
okay. Thank you, sir.
All right, ma. Thank you so much, ma.
Thank
Muslim Hakim. Muslim Hakim, are you with us?
Good evening, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
We
Thank
are all
you,
you, sir.
our coordinator and our former facilitator. We really appreciate your efforts so far. My name is Muslim Hakim Bola, Minister of Housing, Deputy Director. My question goes thus that upon all the explanation given to us, I would like our facilitator to explain better or touch down on the coat of arms for Lagos State. Just to explain better for us the interpretation of the coat of arms. That's my first question. Then the second question is about the landmark of Lagos State. In his lecture, he told us that it's 0.4%. Is it 0.4% is the land or the water area? I want him to explain better on that, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, let's take it from
All right, sir.
the last question. We did say Nigeria has 923,000 plus square kilometer. The Lagos size, the size of Lagos is 0.4% of that number, which translates to about 3,577 square kilometers. When we look at all, of course, you will take water as part of it, because Lagos has water around it. It's not just the land area. When you take the size of Nigeria, the water bodies will also be included. So we are not breaking it into land and water. But in terms of mass, Lagos, that is the size that Lagos covers, is 0.4. Well, in the coat of arms of Lagos State, you have a variety of things.
Hello, sir. Your network, we barely hear you.
Oh, okay. Am I better now? Am I better now? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Hey, this network is going. Hello? Can anybody hear me? Can you hear me, please? Okay. I want to take it that those ones are for me to continue. Maybe we have some challenge there with Mr. Nosoya's network. I think he has been taken out by the network. Now, when we look at the coat of arms of the Lagos state government, we said that there are cowries. There are 3 lines. That is the 3 lines dividing. And then we have fishing activities going on. The cowries speak of olden past. You know, cowries were used as currencies in the past before the emergence of the 3 lines dividing the shields signify, as it is said, the past, present, and future of Lagos State, while the brownish gold color background under the cowries signify the colors of the 4 shore sands that are found in all the divisions of Lagos. We also have fishing activities because fishing is the main occupation of Lagos as it were. And of course, you have that motto. On top of that, you have the CCAP, which is the signia of core Lagos traditional institutions. I think those are the main. Of course, you have the coconut tree, which is also a major economic crop. So you have chieftaincy there, you have economy there, because you have arable land, because you have the motto that is talking justice and progress. Those are the things that I see there.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time. So on this note, I will cut it short. Before I do that, I will call on Rafiu Tolani. Rafiu Tolani is going to do 2 things for us. As our norms here, we call on a participant to give vote of thanks on behalf of the other participants. So, Rafiu Tolani, you unmute yourself, you ask your question, then you give the vote of thanks. Rafiu Tolani, are you with us? Okay, it's like, thank you. Okay, let me see what's going on. I think, I don't know why I can't unmute Rafiu Tolani. Okay, I think there is error somewhere. I can't unmute Rafiu Tolani.
Well, maybe the hosting right has changed. Telling me here I can ask him to unmute. Let me just try that.
Okay. Okay.
So,
You can unmute. You can
yes, I've
unmute
done that
Tolani.
now. He has
Good
unmuted.
evening. Good evening, sir. Thank you,
Good
the
evening.
moderator and the facilitator. My name is Mr. Rafi Tolani from Ministry of Justice. So, of course, you definitely your state council. My own question is in the form of a request. Since there is no slide for this, I will beseech and I'll make plead that the record of this training is very, very vital, very important. If they can send out the record of this training for us so that we can listen to it again, because it's an evergreen. So evergreen. So that's my whole suggestion. And Mr. Jamiu has delegated a power to me that I should also do a vote of thanks. On behalf of all the eligible officers, we want to appreciate our guest speaker for taking time out of no time to do this for us. God bless you. God meet you at the point of your need. May God prosper you. May God satisfy all your heart desires. And I also want to use this opportunity to appreciate Mr. Jamiu very well profusely for his act of love for all of us. He's also a civil servant. This is the type of what the Lagos State government is doing, saying that we should think outside the box. We appreciate him for his ingenuity. I think he deserves a medal. Lagos State government should give him double promotion, or if there's anything more than that. We shall clamor for it, because Mr. Jamiu has been so restless, so passionate about this. The love is so much. So we thank you very well. And then to wrap it up, for all of us, the eligible officers for the promotion, we pray that none of us shall fail. We pray that God should bring everything we read into our memory. We also pray that all what we read is what will come out. So thank you for your time, our facilitator, and good night.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Rafi Tolani. Thank you so much, sir, Mr. Ajetumobi, for your time. I thank every one of us for your participation in this call. Without you, there is nothing we can do. If you don't join, the lecture will not go anywhere. So like we said, Mr. Ajetumobi have promised us that he will try and put one or two things together before the week runs out. Okay, week has runs out already. Okay, before the Monday.
Before Monday.
All right, yeah, before Monday, you will get something to read from him. So thank you so much, sir, Mr. Ajetumobi, for your time, for short notice. You deliver very, very well. In fact, I don't even expect that you can even go to this length despite the short notice. I called on you yesterday and he said, no problem. You are set for us. You are truly encyclopedia. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, every one of you. On this note, I will say, have a lovely night rest. Good night. Bye.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night, sir. Please.